Alrighty. Welcome to round two of Sports Center with Todd. Hashtag let's go. Gonna wait for a couple people here to join. Hope everybody's doing well this evening. I hope you enjoyed all the videos on the JCC Metro West website. If you have some time throughout the day, we are putting up videos periodically throughout the day to make sure you guys are enjoying yourself while you are taking care of yourself as well. That's our number one goal, so we want to make sure you guys are all ready to go. So I'm just going to wait here for a couple of moments. Looks like we got one viewer here ready. But once again, if you did not see me last week, my name's Todd Seidemann. I am the assistant director, or one of the assistant directors with Camp Dini Reback. We are an off-site property with the JCC. We have a camp in Flanders, New Jersey for kids aged 3.5 to 15. So if you have some kids, bring them our way. But we're going to get going. Round two of Sports Center with Todd. Hashtag let's go. We're going to dive into it right now. We're going to talk about Dak Prescott and Cam Newton. Two prolific names in the NFL, haven't really gotten the better end of the deal yet. I think it's quite crazy. I'm going to tell you my opinions and tell you why I think they should be treated better. We're going to talk about the power rankings in the NFL. Yes, the Super Bowl just ended a month and a half ago. However, we're ready for another season, so I'm going to tell you what I think and who the top 5 teams should be for 2020 season. We're going to talk about the NBA. We're going to talk about some college basketball. I think it's great what they're doing the greatest players in college basketball history as far as a bracket to keep our minds off of what's going on in the world. Unfortunately, March Madness is not happening, but to do something like that is great. However, the people that are voting clearly are not sport fans. Some of the decisions and the matchups and who wins and who loses has just been horrendous in my opinion. So we'll talk about that as well. But once again, we are sponsored by JCC Metro West, Facebook Live, and Camp Dini Reback. This is Todd Seidemann, Sports Center, round two, hashtag let's get into it. Okay, Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott had a prolific career, Mississippi State, SEC kind of guy, had crazy numbers, crazy statistics, and was the third, fourth round pick in the draft. He was originally a third-string quarterback. You had Tony Romo, who Jerry Jones was obsessed with. You had a backup in Kellen Moore, who had a prestigious career at Boise State. Due to some injuries, he's now the offensive coordinator with the Dallas Cowboys. But coming into the NFL, Dak Prescott, was not the guy who was just going to, take the football and run a team from day one. He earned it. Tony Romo got hurt, had a bunch of back injuries. Kellen Moore broke his leg. Dak Prescott came into the mix, and from day one, the team absolutely loved him. I mean, he's contagious. He's a guy that's going to be the first one in, the last one out. He's going to give you all he has, and he's proven it. I mean, he's been in the league for 4 years. His overall record, I believe, is 40-24. I mean, that's absolutely phenomenal. When he's in a huddle, you're going to listen. When he's in the locker room and he has something to say, you're going to be quiet. And in my opinion, I don't know about you guys, but if I'm playing for an NFL team or any team, that's a guy I want on my team to lead. He's the point guard of the team. He's the quarterback. He's going to find you ways to get W's, and he's proven it for the last 4 years. However, he has been treated absolutely horrible, in my opinion. We have guys in the NFL these days making millions of dollars. And for a quarterback, you're not winning without a quarterback. So for quarterbacks, they're pretty much getting paid $20 million, $25 million, $30 million annually. And that's if you're only like average or elite. But if you're like a top 10, top 15 guy, you're getting 30 or above. And for the Dallas Cowboys to franchise tag Dak Prescott, it's mind-boggling to me. I mean, what else do you want from the guy? Everybody loves him, all the players, all the fans. He's been in the league for 4 years. He's made the playoffs twice. What else do you want from the guy? I'm seeing people like Carson Wentz, Jared Goff, Ryan Tannehill. Excuse me, I'm going to say that again. Ryan Tannehill. The Miami Dolphins didn't even want him. And listen, I get it. I'm going to pay the guy respect. He crushed it this year. He came back, he got a second chance, and he made the best of it. The Tennessee Titans almost made the Super Bowl. I can't believe I'm saying that. But I'm going to be honest with you, that was not Ryan Tannehill. The guy had 71 yards and like 67 yards. I mean, those numbers might be fairly off, but under 100 yards in 2 of the games passing. They got a guy by the name of Derrick Henry. The dude's a monster. Absolute monster. No defender wants to touch him because he's going to run right over you and probably injure you. So he was the leading rusher in the NFL. He got them there. Ryan Tannehill just got an unbelievable deal. I don't know what it was, guaranteed, but he's making insane amount of money. And Dak Prescott got franchise tag and is just guaranteed 1 year. Other guys that came out with Dak Prescott, Jared Goff and Carson Wentz, both 4 years, just like Dak Prescott. They got 5-6-year deals worth $135 to $137 million. Listen, I'm not going to hate on a guy for making money, but let's get everyone the money, especially if they deserve it. Dak Prescott isn't going to play football for the rest of his life, guys. I think he's 25, 26 years old. He wants to make sure he's prepared down the road for his next chapter in his life. He's got a family to feed. He has to take care of himself. So, listen, Dak, if I were you, I'd hold out, wait to get your money because you 100% deserve it. And I'm going to say this right now, Jerry Jones, if Tony Romo was the quarterback right now, this deal would have been done weeks ago. Jerry Jones, you got a hefty pocket. You got a lot of cash. Give the man what he deserves. You gave Ezekiel Elliott his money, and you gave Amari Cooper his money. And if I'm going to be honest with you, the last time I think I saw a quarterback win it all was Trent Dilfer. If the quarterback was, less than average, you need a quarterback to win these days. You gave everyone else their money. It's time for Dak to get it. Enough with Dak. Let's move on here. We're going to talk about Cam Newton. Now, I don't know about you guys, but in 2015, Cam Newton was the poster boy of the NFL. He was box office. Must-watch TV. We're going to talk about dual-threat quarterbacks. So you got a guy like Michael Vick, who came out of Virginia Tech. He was the one who could throw it and also run it, and he literally was transcendent. He changed the game. Then you got some guys like RG3, Robert Griffin III, who came out of Baylor, Heisman Trophy winner, was going to be the next Michael Vick. Unfortunately, had some injuries, and it just didn't go his way. Still in the NFL as a backup, but another guy. And then you got a guy like Cam Newton, who came out of Auburn, I believe, in 2010. This guy had Michael Vick ability, but let's just take a step back and remember Cam Newton is 6'4" and 250 pounds. The dude's an absolute rock. So for someone that size to have that dual threat capability is absolutely unreal. MVP in 2015, made it to the Super Bowl, lost to Tom Brady and the Patriots. Give the man a chance to at least have a second chapter and move on to a different team. You kept him with the Carolina Panthers for too long, and now all the deals are done, and he's not getting what he deserves, a second chance. Carolina Panthers, not a real, sexy team, if you will, but he's your number one guy. When you think of Carolina Panthers, you think of Cam Newton. Obviously now Christian McCaffrey, but they're not a great team. And Cam Newton was someone who was positive and brought some light to your organization. And to treat him like that, there's just no excuse. So, Dak Prescott, Cam Newton, two guys who I really think got the shorter end of the deal. Hopefully they get a second chance. We'll see what happens. Let's talk a little bit about the NFL power rankings for next year. I know there's a couple people that have been asking me about that within the past week, and I saw the top 5, and I'm just going to go to my notes here. Chiefs, Ravens, Niners, Saints, and Green Bay round out your top 5. No hate. Chiefs are number 1. Well-deserved. They earn it. They got Patty Mahomes. Cannon of an arm. It could be the next Tom Brady, and I can't believe I'm saying that, but this dude's next level, 100%. Ravens, obviously, Lamar Jackson, Mark Ingram. Must-watch TV at this moment. I think that's fair to put them at second. But if I had to be completely honest with you, going into next season, my number 1 team, and I can't believe I'm saying this because the Chiefs are just unreal, I'm going with Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints. Let me explain. They have had so much bad luck in the playoffs the last 3 or 4 years. At some point, it's got to change. Drew Brees, absolute class act. All right? Absolute class act. If I have a daughter one day and she's bringing home her boyfriend for dinner and he's got the qualities of Drew Brees and the character of Drew Brees, I'm a happy man. So he's got 2 years, $50 million left. Let's see what he can do. He's got Michael Thomas, who right now is the number 1 wide receiver in the league, hands down. There might be some debate, but in my opinion, I think he's got it on lock. They just signed Emmanuel Sanders, 2 years, $16 million. To have someone guarding both of them, and then, Alvin Kamara in the backfield, come on, it's unreal. And the X factor. Taysom Hill. He does everything. He can block, he can catch, and honestly, he could have been a number one quarterback. He probably got some deals, but turned them down because he wanted to win a Super Bowl and compete in the NFC. So, listen, I think the Saints are my favorite for next year. Obviously, you got the Chiefs, you got the Ravens. Green Bay at 5, I thought was generous, but you got Aaron Rodgers, as Stephen A. Smith would say, a bad man. So you got to put them in the top 5, and then I think at 6 they had Seattle, Russell Wilson, proven it for years that he's an elite guy, and Seattle, 12th man, those fans bring it every game, so I can see that at number 6 for sure. So that's my NFL talk here. Guys, please comment below if you want me to talk about anything in particular. I'm more than happy to give you my opinion. If you're just tuning in, welcome to SportsCenter with Todd round 2. Let me see what we got here. Yes. Oh my God, great point. 14-team playoffs. So for someone who's a Jets fan, I think it's great. It helps us a little bit. I don't know if we're there yet, but it gives us a little step towards the right direction. They're going to be expanding the playoffs. They're going to have one extra team in the NFC, one extra team in the AFC, which is going to limit the first round bye. It's not going to be 2 teams. It's going to be 1 team. Let me know your thoughts about that, but I think that's great for the NFL. So for Saturday and Sunday now, wild cards, it's going to be 3 games. So I'm assuming they'll do like a 12:30, 4:25, and a 7:30. I think that's great. More football, the better. And I think it just brings a little bit more excitement. Let's see here. Yeah, guys, Tom Brady. So if you weren't with me last time, a lot of my discussion was about Tom Brady. He deserves the discussion. He's a GOAT, greatest of all time, 6 rings. I think he had all the right to do what he did and move to Tampa Bay and give him the best chance to win. He told the Patriots what he wanted and what he needed to win. They didn't deliver. And I think it's just it's time for, Bill Belichick and Tom Brady to, divorce, go their separate ways, and see what they can do by their own. I'm curious to see what they both bring to the table. I think both of them are anxious to prove it to everyone. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's see here. Yeah, I see someone's pretty excited about the Saints. Yeah, I think it might be their year for sure. Let's talk about college basketball and what's going on right now real quick. They're doing the greatest player of all time bracket, and I get what they're doing. They're trying to bring some excitement to college basketball. But if you're going to do this, guys, and you're going to vote, just do it right so it's actually exciting. I think it might be a generational thing. You got, for example, yesterday I turned on SportsCenter and I saw that Shaq beat out Lou Alcindor, otherwise known as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And guys, that's not right. That's just disrespectful. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Walton, and Breonna Stewart, in my opinion, are probably the top 3 college basketball players of all time. Breonna Stewart was at UConn for 4 years. Oh, and by the way, just won 4 times. No big deal. And UCLA, for 10 years with John Wooden, they were the UConn of men's basketball. So, guys, just give these people respect. They're just voting it based off of their college career. I think the finals is Michael Jordan and Larry Bird. And listen, those guys are both top 5 NBA players of all time. And I truly believe that. But when it comes to just college alone, it's not even close. I don't think either of them should be in that discussion. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, both great players, but it was truly based on college alone. Breonna Stewart, Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi, Maya Moore. I think a lot of people were just looking at the flashy names. I know Trae Young was in there, Steph Curry, Zion Williamson. So for the young voters, I get it. You wanted to see the people that move on to the next round. But I think it got a little bit messed up. But I did like the idea. I appreciate what they did. Steelers. Yeah, let's talk about the Steelers a little bit. Ben Roethlisberger's coming back. Mike Tomlin, player coach. He's someone you want to play for. If I'm someone who's coming out of the, college football season and have the opportunity to play for Mike Tomlin, I'm super excited. He's someone that's going to, turn up the volume, bring the noise, and make you fight. So I think the Steelers always have a chance when you have Mike Tomlin and a class act organization like that. I think they're going to bring it for sure next year. Who knows about the playoffs? We'll see how Roethlisberger's feeling, but I don't know if you've seen Ben Roethlisberger recently. he looks like a caveman. He's got to shave and probably lose a little bit of weight. He doesn't look like he's ready to take the field. Fourth best center of all time. Okay, listen, I like how someone's listening to what I'm doing. Shaq is a top 4 center of all time, but that bracket was just based off of college basketball. He had a great, season or two. I don't know how many years he was at LSU, to be honest with you. He was great. Obviously, box office, like I said before, must-watch TV. But he wasn't Lou Alcindor or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at UCLA. I mean, they won every year. He was like an All-American 3 times, I believe. Shaq, with Orlando and LA and Miami and his run in the NBA, yes, he was top 4 center of all time. But I'm talking strictly just college basketball. Julian Edelman, is he going to be a quarterback? I know he played quarterback. Was it Keene University he went to? I'm not sure. He's not going to be quarterback. And that's an interesting point. I think Cam Newton still might possibly have a chance to go to the Patriots. I just don't know if his off-the-field issues and his kind of like swag and what he brings to a team matches with Bill Belichick, Robert Kraft, and their overall organization. If you guys remember when they lost to the Patriots, he had to go to the podium and address questions, and he acted like a 5-year-old. With the Patriots, that ain't flying. Let's just be honest. What else, guys? Give me some comments here so I can answer what you want. While I'm waiting, let's talk a little bit about the NBA. I'm hearing now they're trying to get some leagues going on in China. We'll see what they do, but right now it looks like they're trying to possibly do tournaments in Atlantic City, Bahamas, places where there's multiple hotels so the players don't have to be together, and they're going to see what they can do in order to get some type of playoff. They're thinking of going straight to the playoffs, having, I think it's going to be 10, 12, 16 teams. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing, but I think that what they want to do is best out of 5, not go 7 games, because they want to go as quick as possible and they want to make sure they get it in before the NFL season. Jets are going to the playoffs. I hope you're right. Yeah, baseball, Rachel Gordon, of course. So I'm not sure with that one. I know it was supposed to start a couple of days ago. We'll see if it does begin, but I don't think it's going to occur anytime soon. Let's be honest, the baseball season is already long enough. I think it's 162 games. I mean, that should definitely be cut to about 115 or 110. If you go on ESPN, they give you a chart on when the season would start, how many games there'd be. I think for that point alone, I think it's good for baseball that it's going to be less games. Yeah, fantasy leagues. Listen, I'm not a fantasy guy. My brother's a big fantasy league guy. I'm not. We'll see. Like I said, I'm not a big fantasy guy, but obviously if football's not going to happen, fantasy's not going to happen. So that's going to be unfortunate for a lot of people who may not even be a big football fan. They just like to do fantasy, to be with their friends, do something competitive. But guys, I mean, I think there's a lot of question marks still. So we're going to have to wait and see on all of this. And hopefully the league can come to a decision that's going to be safe for everyone to perform and play. But right now, I think it's just too early to tell. What else do we got here? Jason Tatum MVP. All right. Obviously, you're a huge Celtics fan. Give me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. Whew. Sorry, guys. I have to get a paper towel. My AC is not on. It is hot in here. So let me just get a little wipe down real quick. So Jason Tatum. Listen. Has been playing tremendous his 3rd year, made an all-star. I think he's a guy you can rely on and build a team around, but MVP is just too early. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. A lot of XFL questions. Listen, I haven't been a huge XFL guy. I think it's more just like for people to be entertained. I've seen them do some things that probably shouldn't be said on Facebook Live. I think it's just more of a show and it's not real football. But there was a guy who I just saw got picked up to play for the Celtics. For the Panthers as a backup quarterback. So listen, those guys are definitely talented, and hopefully some of them can make it to the league. 76ers and Joel Embiid. Listen, Joel Embiid is one of the funniest guys in the NBA. If you follow him on social media, he's going to make you crack up. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't see him being a number one guy that could take a team to a championship. Also with Ben Simmons. He's a 6'10 point guard. He shows some flashes. He's been an all-star as well with Joel Embiid. But that duo, I just don't see them making noise and ever getting out of the East. So they have a lot of work to do, I think, in Philly. Joel Embiid is a heck of a talent, but still a little immature. Ben Simmons is young, still has a lot to prove on. Got to learn how to shoot. If you can't shoot, you're not going anywhere. So I think the Sixers still need a lot of work to do. What else do we got here, guys? Make sure you give me some stuff here. But listen, if you guys aren't going to give me some stuff, I'm going to let you know that if you're a big sports fan, guys, obviously right now it is not a good time. But there are sports on all the time. So, for example, if you're a big college basketball guy, on CBS on Sundays they're playing past national championship games. Last night on SportsCenter they had McDonald's game, slam dunk contest. So, obviously right now it's not the best time if you're a sports fanatic. But, listen, sports makes memories and times that are great, times that aren't so great, depending on what team you're rooting for. But all those times you look back to when you were a kid and growing up, all those amazing moments are now on TV. So get a chance to sit back and watch some of those games that you enjoyed growing up. I think ESPN is doing a phenomenal job keeping everything off our mind and just keeping sports connected with us during this time. Is DeGrom the best pitcher? He's up there. He's definitely up there. I wouldn't say he's number one. Obviously, a Mets fan. Mets have a lot of things that need to get taken care of before they can get to a World Series. That's for sure. D-Hop to the Cardinals. Yeah, something I spoke about last week. Transcendent player. The dude doesn't drop balls, period. I think a top 3 wide receiver in the league. I think it's a great pickup for the Cardinals. And actually, the NFL Power Rankings had him, or had the Cardinals, I think they were ranked 18th. They're a sleeper in the NFC. I think they could definitely make some noise and make the playoffs, especially with the NFC and AFC now expanding to 7 teams each. I think the Cardinals are going to be something to look at for sure. One thing I do want to talk about before we end here, I got about 10 minutes or so. There's a documentary that is coming out a little early due to the times we're experiencing, and to say I'm like a kid in a candy store is an understatement. It's called The Last Dance. It's about the 90s and the Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Tony Kukoc, Dennis Rodman, Luke Longley. I mean, this was really when I became a basketball fanatic. I mean, I got Michael Jordan shoes. I was in my driveway thinking I was MJ. This documentary, it's 10 parts. I think they're going to show 2 parts every week for the next 5 weeks or so, starting April 19th. I know I said Tom Brady's the GOAT, but literally all of sports, the number one guy is Michael Jordan, and it's going to give you behind-the-scenes access, locker room, team buses, team planes, the fights, the good moments, the bad moments, all of it. So if you're a true sports fan, you're going to get an inside look on one of the best teams ever assembled, definitely the best one in the NBA. So that starts April 19th. I'll keep you guys posted on that within the next couple of weeks. So if you're interested, you can't miss it. I mean, watch the trailer on ESPN or go on YouTube and watch a trailer. If you don't get goosebumps, I mean, check your pulse. It's going to be prime time television, must-watch TV, get a bag of popcorn, and get ready for a show. I cannot wait. Do you think the Nets will make the playoffs? Well, I think right now they're a 7 or an 8 seed. I think it's Magic and then the Nets. Listen, throughout the past few years, they've had big guys, but they've been hurt. With the young talent they have, if they can just get 2 superstar guys like Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving to be on the floor and not on the sideline, they're destined to make noise in the East and possibly get to the finals. I mean, listen, obviously Giannis is unreal, and the Bucks are the number one team and the best record in the NBA. But besides them, listen, the Raptors are great, the Celtics are great, but the Nets would be right there, top 4 in the East and competing for an Eastern Conference, finals for sure. So, I mean, if they can stay healthy, I think they have a chance for sure. Yeah, Knicks. I mean, let's not even get started. James Dolan, I mean, I'm a positive guy, but that guy just has to go and sell the team. If you're a Knicks fan, I apologize. Madison Square Garden is known as the Mecca. It's where you want to, perform your best and show everyone your talents. And for the last, 20 or so years, it's just been absolutely embarrassing. I'm not sure what they're doing. The only good thing that really happened within the last few years was done by Phil Jackson, and that was getting Kristaps Porzingis to the team, and now he's with the Mavericks. So I don't know what they're doing. There's promising talent there. I think Mitchell Robinson could be a name that we're going to talk about for a few years down the road. I think he's an up-and-coming player for sure, but they got a lot of work to do. ESPN 8. Sarah, I'm not sure what that is. I'll do some research and get back to you, but I don't know what you're talking about there. But going off of the next comment, firing Kenny Atkinson, I'm not sure about that one. I think the players love him from what I hear. I think he's a class act. I think he played or coached under Greg Popovich and won a couple of rings with the Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Manu Ginobili team. I think with the talent he had and the people that were healthy, I think he honestly did a tremendous job. Let's be honest, guys, and let's look back a few years ago. Before he took over the team, they were pretty much what the Sixers were, 5-6 years ago. So I didn't agree with that. We'll see what happens. I know Mark Jackson, Jeff Van Gundy will be names that we'll hear for that, opening. We'll see what happens. I did not see Joey Logano with NASCAR championship for Ford. I'm not a NASCAR guy, so I can't bring much to the table with that one. Guys, comment. Let me know what you want to talk about. I'm more than happy to address anything. We got the NFL draft, I see. Yeah, I think that's going to be something to look forward to. It's definitely going to be a different format this year. I think it's going to be all virtual, obviously. For promising guys, 5-star athletes who are expected to be in the first round, they get that opportunity to pick out, a nice suit, be with their family, be in the green room, and walk across that stage and shake the commissioner's hand. I mean, that's a dream come true for a lot of these guys, and for them not to experience that this year, it's upsetting. But it's going to be different, but it's going to be great for us so we can have something to look forward to. It's going to be April 23rd to April 25th. As a Jets fan, I'm pretty excited. I'm seeing a lot of mock drafts with us taking Jerry Jeudy, who is the number one wide receiver from Alabama. Losing Robbie Anderson, obviously very difficult for us. He was our number one, which isn't saying much. But to get a young guy like Jerry Jeudy to New York, I'm pretty pumped for that if that's the case. Yeah, CeeDee Lamb would be a great option as well. I think they're probably going to go back-to-back. I think Las Vegas has the 12th pick, so they might go back-to-back. I'm happy with either one. But I think Jerry Jeudy gets the slight edge. So we'll see what happens. Giants, I think they're going with Isaiah Simmons. I believe he's an outside linebacker for the Clemson Tigers. From what I hear, he's an absolute freak athletically. The Giants can use someone for sure. Let's hope New York football is good this year, guys. For the past few years, it's been pretty rough, but I think we got two promising quarterbacks in New York with Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold. So hopefully for the next few years, we can have something to look forward to. Yeah, Stanley Cup. Guys, it's rough. We'll see. There's a lot of promising teams who thought they had what it took to win the championship this year, and we're just not sure if it's going to come through. Fingers crossed that all these sports will come back and these athletes can entertain us once again and, show their talents to everyone across the world and, bring another community together. I think a lot of people tend to forget that sports brings people together. A few years ago with what happened in Houston and then the Houston Astros, winning a World Series, which obviously now is questionable with the cheating. But I think sports really brings people together. So if it's safe and leagues can, come to some type of conclusion to make this happen, I think it will put a lot of smiles on people's faces. And I think it would just be tremendous overall. So guys, I think right now, I'm at a half an hour. I'll answer a few more questions here because I think I'm the last act of the night for JCC Metro West. And then we will go to round 3 next week, and I'll answer more of your questions. I see Joe Burrow to the Bengals. Yes, I think that's obvious. I mean, what he did this year for LSU, I haven't seen a season like that in years. I mean, he was outstanding. Andy Dalton, mediocre quarterback, had some sparks, but I think his time's long gone, and I think it's Joe Burrow's time to take over. I think he's going to make some noise for the Bengals next year for sure. All right, guys, it was an absolute pleasure chatting it up with you. This is definitely, I look forward to this. It's so much fun getting to talk with you guys and talk sports. I'll be back next week. If you have any other questions, write them down. Get ready for round 3 of SportsCenter with Todd. # let's go. Be safe out there. And until next week, peace.